This is day 3 of building ThoughtArchive, my AI powered thought organizer. And today is where it goes from just transcribing your voice to actually tagging, summarizing, and organizing every thought that you speak. That means your idea gets automatically categorized by type. Your important thoughts get tagged, and everything is organized in a clean database which you can reflect on, you can query on, and you can play back on. Let's go into exactly what I'm doing today. For Supabase integration, I will be using Supabase to create a bucket and store the audio. I'll also be testing the transcription accuracy, and I will be building the chat feature, which is a major feature towards this application. This will allow for the user to have a constant back and forth with AI after it's already been tagged and organized for you. And today is the actual completion of the MVP stage. All the features that I wanted to integrate from day 1 have been integrated by day 3. And today is what we'll be exploring, and it will be all on camera for you guys to see and to follow along. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's begin. So before I started with putting in what I wanted to do, first I made AI create an overall checklist, and in this checklist there are just different phases. There's a 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase, 4 phase. The reason why I did this is because AI cannot decipher in just mass piece of work and change everything at once. It likes to work in sections. If you try to do it all at once, it's going to hallucinate. So right now we're beginning with phase 1.1, and in phase 1.1 we'll be working on the recording. So we'll work on the recording button working, making it a little bit responsive, just making sure everything is working when it comes to the audio as well as like the transcription. Right now we're not really focusing on the transcription, just the audio button and getting it working, because that is one of the major features of this app. And right now, after every single change that you make with ChatGPT or with Cursor or whatever AI you're making or whatever AI you're using, you need to test it after each change. And once you do, it just makes sense, because you'll see any sort of errors in it and everything. And here it's working just as intended. Obviously the UI isn't exactly how I'd like it, but it is up to par right now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you understand me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you understand me? Right now we are moving on to phase 1.2. And what does phase 1.2 entail? Phase 1.2 is just making sure that the audio quality is better, making sure that everything is just extra responsive, and making sure there's great feedback. Right now the AI is making the audio as perfectly receptive as possible by doing noise suppression, by having better audio quality, by including different error managements and different debug managements. And AI just does it all for you. This is the great thing about AI, it does it all for you. You don't have to do anything. So the next step is to create a bucket in Supabase so that I'd be able to replay the recording and to store the recording inside Supabase's cloud storage, even though it's not really a cloud storage, it's a bucket. But anyways, what I like to do when I have to interact on another space other than Cursor, and I have to go into other pages, especially onto pages that I'm not familiar with, I like to copy and paste the prompts from Cursor and put it into ChatGPT, just so I can work with ChatGPT. Half the screen is covered, no, I mean like some of the screen is covered by ChatGPT, and it's going to be directing me exactly on how to complete the next steps, rather than moving back and forth between different pages. Even though I can minimize the screen, it's just a lot easier when working with ChatGPT. It's a lot more readable for me, especially because at this point I have it tailored towards my personality and exactly who I am, because I use it so much. That does sound very parasocial, but we keep it pushing. Okay, now let's move on to the next feature. Here there's a feature that I haven't really integrated yet that I would love to integrate. The whole premise of this app is so that it's a thought archive, so you can store your thoughts a lot easier and have it organized. But there's also another issue, and that is that even though it's being tagged by AI and being grouped by AI, I would also like for it to continue a conversation with AI. And what do I mean by this? For example, rather than like a full conversation, it's going to ask you follow-up questions or something to just entice the idea if you want to continue the conversation. And if that is so, then AI will take care of that for you. Now that's completed, let's move on to the next step. What does the next step entail? So Cursor is telling me for this to work, I need to make extra tables inside of Supabase, And like I said earlier before, the best way for me to do it, and I think it's a decent tip for other people to do as well, copy and paste this, put it into a different AI just so you don't get the messages muddled up and all this other stuff, and keeping everything clean. Do that, move the conversation onto ChatGPT, and then after that work on what you need to work on. And in here, once I make the messages table and all the tables that I need to make, it progresses efficiently. I'm actually quite surprised that I haven't really found a lot of issues and a lot of debugging that I need to go through in this entire project. I feel it's because I did everything early. I did the PRDs, I did everything that I was meant to do in a broad manner. Even though I said that I haven't done this before, I haven't, but I have worked with AI a lot. I know how AI functions. I don't think there's many people that know AI better than me. I know, bold claim. Whoa, don't shoot me. But it is what it is. This is something that I like, something that I work with on a day-to-day basis and on a consistent basis. So if there's one thing that you can take away from me, and if it's not coding, if it's not making websites, it's working with AI. There's no one better. I mean, there probably is, but who cares, innit? It's me. Okay, now I've made the messaging table, which is for the chat style UI that I will be working on after this feature. Let's just give it a test and make sure everything's working. There won't really be any sort of visual differences for the thing. I'm just making sure that there's no errors that are going to pop up. Even if there's going to be, because all I did was add the messaging table into the Supabase, which is a database table. There's going to be no visual changes. Test it and see if any errors pop up, because you'll be surprised at what sort of errors will pop up. Even though I haven't had any errors that many errors so far, they were all dealt with in the last episode basically, even though I was expecting more. Okay, so now let's move on to making the actual chat style UI so that you can carry on conversations with the AI. And another tip that I would like to recommend is that I skipped out in this video. It's just optimize your AI usage for, just make sure you optimize your AI. For example, you don't want to add an AI feature to your application and then get charged an obscene amount because you didn't regulate how you wanted it to be spent, because because AI costs. Even though it's a really cheap amount, if you're not really doing any sort of optimization, it's going to charge the maximum amount, and you don't want that. You're going to just see like money leaving your account, which isn't the greatest feeling in the world. Don't ask me how I know. Now we're at the stage where we can add the chat function to the actual application so you can carry on the conversations that you were having with AI. And once we've got that done, we've almost completed all the MVP and all sorts of features that we really wanted for this application. Obviously we can polish it up a little bit. There is some little tweaks that I will be adding maybe in the following episode, but right now this is one of the final MVPs, and we've damn near successfully brought an idea to life using nothing but AI. Take a look at this. It's literally doing everything for me, literally everything. It's actually quite insane, especially at the rate that AI is progressing, that this is going to become child's play. I wouldn't need to put in this many prompts. I wouldn't need to do all these sort of workarounds. At some point, AI, you say B and AI Bs. But right now we're at the stage where you've got to work around, you've got to work with, you've got to massage it. And if you know how to use AI, it turns a really hard task into a simple task and literally brings ideas to life. And that's the great thing about AI, and that's the great thing about how to use these tools. Make sure you don't end up getting left behind, because if you do, there's not going to be any sort of positives for you. You're literally going to be living in a negative life. AI is the future, and just learn to work with it. This is literally like the .com boom, or the .com bubble, whatever you fucking call it. Yeah, we're in a situation in life where learning how to use AI is literally the greatest point in life, and there's no better opportunity. I promise you, there's no better opportunity. Use AI to advantage in everything. Now the application is done, let's take it for a spin. Let's take it for a spin and see what sort of features are in this app. Okay, let's give it a look. So first I'll begin by doing the recording, and then we'll go into what's next and what we're going to do further. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. I'm going to talk into the application. So I had a new YouTube idea, something to do with web design, and I would like for you to teach me on 5 most common mistakes, or just, it should be based around the problems of people who are trying to get into web design or trying to book clients, and then it's going to put it into a group for me. And not only will it transcribe the conversation for me, it will also put it down and tag it and it will tag it using AI, group it using AI. It will carry on the conversation using AI. A lot of these features are AI based features, and I'll be able to customize what I want. So here I'm changing the title from Sound Reflection. This is an issue that I'm having right now. Earlier the grouping and the tagging was working a lot better. I will make these tweaks, but right now I added it into the general group, and then I changed the name, and now I will begin to carry on the conversation. And once that's done, and then here, look, take a look. Right now I'm going to carry on the conversation, and this is another issue that I have. I think during the conversations, it's not the initial transcription, initial thought that I have, it's not pulling the data from there to carry on the conversation. It's asking me to carry on the conversation as if it's a new chat. I don't want that to happen. I want it to carry on using the context of what we've done. Like I said, there's always a few little tweaks, a few little bugs that you can figure out by working and by testing, and that's something that we'll be getting onto next week. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. This is the full application, and that is day 3 done. Let's do a quick summary of what we've actually done today. Today, we got the actual MVP completed. What was featured inside the MVP? The transcription of thoughts, the tagging of thoughts, the grouping of thoughts by category, all done by AI. Also, the consistent back and forth between AI and you is available on this app. There's so many different features that we completed today, and the application is almost completed. We've really ended on a good note for day 3, and remember, this is a complete difference from day 1 of the build. So day 1, day 3, and it's only taken 3 days to complete this. From going from a document or just lazy thinking of one actual idea would be, and now it's damn near come to life. What we'll be doing for day 4? Well, for day 4 specifically, we will be working on the actual UI. What I mean by the UI is typography, color matching, all sorts, shapes, sizes, all sorts of things we'll be going into to try tailor it to customer experience so they can get the most satisfaction from this product as possible. So that will be a fun day. This is something that I really am excited to get into, as the design aspect of some apps is something that I really enjoy. What else we'll be going on to is we want to make it available to use on phone. So any sort of thoughts, any sort of ideas, any sort of just note taking, it will be available on phone, not just PC. Right now, I've made it completely on my PC because why not? So next week we'll do phone integration, we'll do UI, we'll do some debugging, and then after that, that's basically the app completely finished. But we will have one more episode, one more special episode after that. Little teaser, I'll give you a little, what is that, Easter egg. Anyways, if you want the full build, the full prompt pack, everything from day 1 all the way up to right now, we've only got up to day 3 released. So day 4 will be getting released next week. So if you want the full build, with each week we build another free prompt pack. So instead of you just watching, you can also follow along and make the app for yourself for free. Who else is doing this? Anyways, if you want to support, hit the subscribe button and check out all my links in the description. Peace.